All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of Ark Survival Evolved. In this one, we are going to go tame an Abberant Spino. Since they are aberrant, they will only be found in the aberrant zones, so keep that in mind. In this particular map, most of the aberrant zones are underground in various caves or in one of the other realms that have aberrant zones in them, like Asgard has a lot of aberrant zones, but this one's on the main map, so this is where I'm going. I also tend to find a lot of really high level Spinos in these caves as well, which is why I came back to this particular one. So I've got a level 145 here, which is really good because I've also got a 150 female hanging out back at my base, which will be perfect for making a mating pair. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to lure him out of the cave. Make sure that your bat is tanky enough to take a few hits from these Spinos. It's not going to be great as far as their damage is concerned, so you don't need to have a bat that's like leveled extremely in the health. I would just say something around 2,500 to 3,000 health would be plenty for what you're going to encounter in these caves. But he is going to have to be able to bite you a few times in order to stay aggro on you all the way out to the traps. With respect to the traps, I did not build, design, or anything of that nature what's going on with them. This is an official server. These traps are just scattered all about on the maps all over the place. So if you're interested in how to build these traps, there's definitely other videos out there that do a good job of explaining how they should be built and what materials you need. So I am by no means taking credit for these traps whatsoever. I am just using them as they are very convenient for me and I don't have to design or build any of my own. So I'm going to lead him over to the trap, make sure that he stays aggro on you, because if he loses aggression, he might wander off and start attacking some other things. So he needs to stay right on you all the way up the trap, and remember, you're going to have to take a few hits in order for this to actually work. It's very important that you don't actually panic in any one of these situations, because if you panic because your bat is getting bit, it's only going to make the situation worse. So I'm going to go ahead and land here, make sure he's trapped, he's not going anywhere, and I'm going to pull out my tranquilizer gun, and I'm just going to start shooting him. So you can get 100% taming effectiveness off of one of these crossbows as long as you are careful not to shoot him beyond the point where his unconsciousness animation begins. So I always give it a couple of seconds between shots so I don't end up damaging him. You could definitely do it better by using a long neck rifle, but I don't like spending the time to make the tranquilizer darts, especially for a tame like this one where it won't matter either way if I use the crossbow or the tranq darts. So I'm not going to use tranq darts on something like this because it's going to cost too much time and effort. So I'm just going to keep shooting him like we typically would do for anything that we're going to tame. This is obviously something that's not new to us as survivors, but I do want to show us the sanguine elixir, so I'm going to need to have him unconscious in order to do that. So just keep shooting him. Be careful not to shoot him beyond where he does his sleep animation, and you will be fine. Another thing about these traps is sometimes the pillars or the walls or whatever the trap is made of tends to get in your way, so take careful aim when you're making your shots to make sure you're hitting a part of the creature that is not behind one of the walls, because you don't want to be wasting your precious resources that take you forever to make anyways, such as a ton of narcotics for taming something like this. And Spinos do consume quite a bit of narcotics, so the less we use in our arrows, the better it is for us at the end of the day. Also keep an eye out for other creatures because Rexes also spawn here. I have almost been killed by more than one when I am trying to knock out one of these Spinos to tame it. So be careful about the Rexes. You might even want to just clear anything that survives in this area as far as predators are concerned prior to beginning the taming process. But I didn't see any predators when I came over and did my flyover a minute ago, so I didn't do that in this video. So just a heads up, this is a Rex spawn as well, including Alpha Rexes and Alpha Raptors spawning in this area. So just keep shooting him. Eventually he will go to sleep. It doesn't take a ton of arrows to bring this guy down. It'll be less than 100 shots. Typically I think like 40 or 50 is more than enough for even a 150 Spino. Just consult Dododex. It'll tell you exactly how many, and they are pretty accurate with their estimations. Alright, so he is about to go down any second now. There he goes. That's the animation. Don't shoot him anymore once you see the animation happening. We're going to go over there, and I'm going to fill him up with kibble. So I'm using extraordinary kibble. You absolutely don't need to do that. It's just easier for me since I have a bunch of creatures that lay those eggs. So I'm going to go over here now, and I'm going to show you the sanguine elixir. Watch, he's at 0%. I make the sanguine elixir, and my bat costs me 200 blood to do. And once I have fed him the sanguine elixir, 30%.